Welcome to a new edition of See What's On, Central Maine's radio arts magazine, brought to you by Community Productions and Mix 107.9. It's Sunday, December 11th, 2016. I'm your host, Dick Dyer. Each week, we scour the region and highlight the new and the unique arts happenings wherever they might occur. From Bangor to Lewiston, from Farmington to Rockland, from lounges to formal theaters, from galleries, festivals, libraries, movie houses, and maybe even your own home. If it's on, it's on. See what's on. The holidays would not be complete without a performance of the Nutcracker. We'll take a look at Nutcracker through the eyes of Natalya Getman, the Bossov Ballet artistic director and choreographer, and two of her principal dancers, Arjon and Olivia Durkee. We'll talk about the history of Bossov Ballet at Maine Central Institute in Pittsfield and take a close look at this year's show. This segment of See What's On is brought to you by SBS Carbon Copy, located on Main Street in Waterville. SBS is a family-owned business and has always been a strong supporter of the arts and community development. Visit them at mainprintingservices.com. And we're back. While we're talking with Natalya, Arjon, and Olivia, you'll hear one of Tchaikovsky's more memorable tunes in the background, Waltz of the Flowers. Don't forget that this great show of Nutcracker opens this Friday night, December 16th. For tickets and showtimes, go to operahouse.org or call 873-7000. So welcome into the show today, Natalya, Arjon, and Olivia.
Hi. Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, and you all came from quite a distance, from not Moscow, Maine, but...
No, actually Moscow, Russia.
In Moscow, Russia.
Yes, so I used to be a professional dancer with the Moscow Ballet, and now I'm teaching up at MCI for Bossov Ballet.
Great. Well, we get the benefit of having you and your talents up here in Maine.
Absolutely.
At Maine Central Institute, Bossov Ballet particularly. And Arjon and Olivia, you're a little closer to home. With a last name like Orr, you would suspect you might be from Maine, but you're not.
Nope. I'm from New Hampshire, Samerton. We drove up here just to dance.
From Samerton, New Hampshire?
That's right. Yeah, we moved up here looking for a little better quality of ballet instruction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were part of the regular school system in Samerton?
No, I've actually been homeschooled most of my life. During high school, I did attend MCI, and I took courses both at MCI and at Colby College. But mostly I've been just studying at home. I'm not only a ballet dancer, I'm also a musician. I'm a jazz pianist.
Oh, really? Great.
Yes.
Great.
So it gives me extra time.
Great.
Practice.
And you didn't bring the piano today.
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Arjon, come on. Olivia, now how are you going to top that now?
Well, I'm originally from around here.
You're a real local. You're a local friend.
Yeah. I got into Bossov Ballet because I was doing sports and gymnastics with one of my friends, and my mom wanted me to get into dancing, but I didn't want to go to a recital school. My friend showed me Bossov, and I've been coming here ever since.
Great. Great.
It's been about 9 years now, right, Olivia?
Yeah.
So that's what I understand. You're the real pro in this group. I mean, Natalya, obviously you are too, but you're, in terms of dancing on the stage in this upcoming show of Nutcracker, we have a real pro, 9 years.
Yes, and both of these young dancers actually will be performing at our Nutcracker principal roles. Olivia will be Marie, and Arjon is going to be Nutcracker Prince.
Nutcracker Prince, okay. Great. Well, we're going to get into that in the second part of the show. We want to talk about your particular version of Nutcracker, but I wanted to explore a little more. Obviously, you all come from very different backgrounds and from different places, and you ended up at MCI and Bossov Ballet in particular. For a lot of the listeners, I don't think many of them have a sense of the history of Bossov Ballet and how it came to be in this nice little school in Pittsfield, Maine.
Sure, I probably could fill up that gap a little bit for everybody. So, as a matter of fact, last February, we celebrated 20th anniversary of this program. So it's been originated almost 21 years ago by Mike Wiley and Andrei Bossov. And Andrei Bossov is back in Russia right now, but he was a founder of this program, and he's been choreographing things as well as teaching. I would have to say about 16 years ago, I came along. And I worked with both Mike Wiley as well as Andrei Bossov. Yes.
Did you work with Andrei back in Russia at all?
No, I have not.
Yeah.
No.
But you worked for the same companies, didn't you?
No, not really, because ballet culture in Russia is so big, as well as here too. But we do have a lot of different theaters. For example, in Moscow we have Bolshoi Theater. In St. Petersburg we have Kiev Ballet.
Okay.
And in many different cities and towns we have other state theaters as well. So, but I did not work in the same theater as Andrei.
So how did you find out about the school?
Prior to that, I was traveling with the Moscow Ballet around the USA.
Okay.
With my Moscow Ballet company, and my life changed. I should have to say dramatically because I got married.
Okay.
And so I had to stay.
It does change things.
Yeah, it does change a little bit. So I started staying in this country. So I became to be eventually a citizen of United States, which is I'm very proud of.
Great. Welcome.
So I was looking for the job, and at that time I wasn't sure if I want to continue actually dancing as a professional or should I change my route to more teaching. And it's ended up to be that's how I came across of Bossov Ballet. I came an audition for the teaching position and I passed. And since then I've been teaching in there for, like I said, about 15 to 16 years now.
Great. And we got to meet each other about 3 years ago, a little over 3 years ago now. And I've seen some of your fine work, which is great.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed with the students you attract to the school. And we heard a little bit from Olivia about what attracted you here. Sort of had a parental influence on that. But you didn't stay here just because your parents. You didn't stay with Bossov just because your mom wanted you to dance, right?
No, I knew that I wanted to dance.
We know your mom's listening, so be careful.
I knew I wanted to dance. Like I said, I didn't want to go to a recital school where I would be doing like many types of dance. I really did want to do ballet. And I didn't know about Bossov, like I said, until my friend told me about it. And I just started coming, and I chose it over all of my other activities.
Sure. Now, you said you had some orientation in gymnastics before this? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, I had been doing gymnastics for a little while, but I had been doing a bunch of other sports.
Okay. So the athletic part really was helpful for the ballet part?
Not so much the sports. I mean, it was helpful having gymnastics.
Sure.
I was already kind of flexible.
Right. Right. Do you find any, coming back to you, Natalya, just briefly, do you find that helpful if somebody comes from a gymnastic background? Does it help you in your teaching?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Myself, actually.
You have to untrain some things?
Yes, exactly, because it depends what gymnastics you do, because there is gymnastics where you have to jump over the, whatever they call it, a horse.
Trampoline.
Trampoline, or you have to do on the bean. So it's one type of the gymnastics. And there is I believe it's called rhythmic gymnastics.
Right.
This is with the ribbon and the ball and the tumbling and all of those things. So those different gymnastics create different shapes and develop different muscles in your body. So actually, as a matter of fact, before I started taking ballet at my age of 10. So I actually started as a gymnast as well. So and the only benefit I got from being a gymnast is because I was very flexible. Because they do stretch you quite a bit. However, when my ballet teacher started working with me, so it was quite a bit of work needed to be done to change the structure of my muscles because they were overbuilt. Because that's what gymnastics do. So I guess there is a benefit of that and not so much. So. But I do want to encourage anybody, because while you're young, your body is so moldable, and it's easy to make changes. I mean, at your age, Dick, I probably will say, don't try it. But with the young kids, I think it's and especially when they're still searching, they don't really know exactly what they want to do. Just like, for example, in the sample of Olivia, she wasn't sure if she loves ballet or not. But then when you start being involved in the productions and you have a good teacher, and so I think it makes a big world difference for sure.
I would agree with that. But just for the record, I did dance the part of the cat in Peter and the Wolf.
Cool.
Yeah, that's a long time ago.
Do you have the video?
No, and you don't want that video. Trust me. Why are you laughing, Arjon? It's a good thing this is not televised. So, Arjon, coming back to you, we're not going to leave you out of this conversation here. Yeah. So you have an interesting background. You said your dad's from New York, I think you told me, and your mom's from Spain.
Yep, that's right.
Okay. International blending here.
That's true. Yeah, I have dual citizenship, and I was going to mention, I also did gymnastics.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Only for, I think, about 4 years. For me, I think it's very similar with a lot of gymnasts. Is even anyone who switches to ballet is the second you start, you go in, you take technique classes, and you're like, oh, this is really hard. And then the second you become involved in a production and you go out on stage and you're just there and there's lights and makeup, and costume and everything. And it's just magical and you completely fall in love with it.
Okay.
And it takes a while because a dance, as far as being a pre-professional dancer or a professional dancer, you begin to learn it doesn't end up being about the performance so much. It's about the lifestyle of taking technique classes, doing rehearsals, working with teachers, working with other dancers. But in the beginning, that thing that makes you love dance is performing.
It's that you're living for the applause and the lights and all that.
You're a little kid and that's what you love.
Right.
But the nice thing is that it never goes away. Every performance you do is always, it's a trip to another place.
Okay.
And it always makes all the hard work and all the tears and everything worth it.
So you're here from New Hampshire, so you're living on campus?
Yes.
Okay. So you're working pretty hard. You work these folks pretty hard.
6 days a week on a consistent basis. Actually, because they are MCI students as well. So
you have a full array of classes besides dance.
Absolutely. And that's what's unique about this program. And to be honest with you, we probably, if we will start searching throughout the country, I probably have enough fingers on my one hand to count how many the programs like that exist.
Okay.
So because it does incorporate a study as well as the ballet, all in the same facility, in the same campus, I should say, not same facility, but same campus as well as throughout the whole day. Like, for example, their typical day will be, they will start at 8 o'clock with the ballet class, which lasts...
You sleep in then?
Oh, they kind of do, I guess. So they start with the ballet class that lasts about 2.5 to 3 hours.
Okay.
Then they go with the rest of the academics, having their lunch and other academic classes, and then they go back to the ballet studio around 3:30, and then they go home by the time with all of the rehearsal end, probably around 8 o'clock, 8:30. So that's typical at this time of the year because we do getting ready for the Nutcracker period aggressively.
And you don't, this is not the only show you're doing in the year.
No, we have about 3 performances a year. So our Nutcracker is for sure annual performance. Then we do have a spring production and as well as the summer program. And that's another big aspect of our program. That's where we invite pretty much international as well as national students to come and to participate and learn how to dance professionally.
Okay, so that's a whole separate program. Do you have the academics in the summer as well?
No. This is just strictly for the ballet.
Great.
Yeah.
Did you both participate in the summer program?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's how I found
Bossov.
That's how I originally started.
Okay. Great.
And that's the case in many students' lives. They come to us in the summer program and they fall in love with it. They feel that the education of the ballet is very good. And then they figure out that there is a campus where they could, with the dormitories, they could stay here, as well as the MCI provides wonderful education with the scholarships. And so they decided to stay. And that was the case of Arjon and many other students that we have at Bossov.
Great. So how many students do you have in the program now?
Oh my goodness! I have to say,
the year round.
In the year round, right? So that's probably hard to tell because I have about 20 of them as of the MCI students combination, Bossov MCI students, and the rest of them are younger population, which is because we do provide classes for the 4-year-olds and up, as well as an adult class, right? So probably altogether within the 50, 55, probably I have to say, as of the Bossov Ballet program.
That's quite a company.
Yes, but in the summer we do. Our numbers rise up, so we could have close to 70. Yeah.
Great. And then do you do some touring as well? Is that
as of the company with the production? Not very much. However, we do.
We'd like to. I can tell.
Oh, I'm sure. And that's hard to do because of their academics. So they have to still study. And I'm very proud to say that pretty much all of our Bossov Ballet students are high honored students. As a matter of fact, for the past 2 years, 2 of our ballet students were valedictorian in the class in school. So very proud to say. So they do have to study.
Right.
But we do provide some performances for the local schools, and we make a little travel within close areas, right?
Sure. And these programs, of course, are great ambassadors as well.
Absolutely.
When you perform at the Opera House and other places, this is a great way to reach out to the public and let them see this fine work. So we're going to get to see that, and we're going to come back to that. But Is there anything else you guys, either one of you want to mention? I mean, you're both pretty passionate about this. This is a lot of work. This is not something you take lightly. What motivates you besides the love of performing, Arjon? What really motivates you here?
I think the biggest motivator for ballet, and the thing I love most about it, is that the amount you progress in ballet is directly proportional to the amount of hard work you put in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's very satisfying to put in hours and hours and hours of practice and hard work, and to come out with something that you didn't have before, and you don't lose it.
Okay.
At least for me, that's what makes it worth it.
There's a life skill metaphor there somewhere.
Definitely. Okay. That's something you can apply in, and I think that's the biggest reason why a lot of ballet students are always, in general, ballet students are at the top of their classes. They, even in other extra curricular activities, they're always top of clubs, theaters, because it's a skill you can apply anywhere.
It's called discipline.
Yep.
Discipline.
Hard work and motivation.
A lot of discipline.
Yep.
And is she a disciplinarian?
Definitely.
Okay.
She's a great one.
A great one. Olivia, how about you? We do want to leave you out of that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's definitely taught me how to manage my time.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes up a lot of time, I've learned how to do well in school without taking all the time for the school. And it gives me kind of like, it's a good balance being at MCI, because we do get the good academics,
okay,
very good ballet, lifestyle, because we're busy all the time. You don't really have that much free time, but if you're working towards a goal, it's a good program.
Sure. And you're both, what year are you at MCI?
I'm a junior.
Junior, so you have another whole year.
Yeah.
How about you, Arjon?
I'm a senior.
Senior. So this is it?
This is it.
All right. Where to next?
I don't know. I've applied to a lot of different conservatories, Oberlin, Juilliard, USC.
Great.
We have yet to see what happens.
Okay. Great. Well, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back and talk specifically about the upcoming show of Nutcracker.
Okay. Thank you.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take this break.
Thanks.
Welcome back. You're listening to See What's On Mix 107.9. You can hear recent shows that you may have missed on SeeWhat'sOn.com. That's the letter C, What's On, or on Facebook.com, Arts in Central Maine. Please take the time to send us your story ideas and calendar listings for upcoming arts events. We'll return to our interview with Natalya, Arjon, and Olivia, but first let's listen to Tchaikovsky's most famous musical number from the Nutcracker. That was Tchaikovsky's The Party Scene from the Nutcracker, opening this weekend at the Waterville Opera House. As we return to our interview with our guests, you will also hear another favorite tune from the Nutcracker, Pas de Deux, in the background. We have in the studio with us a special guest with Natalya Getman, who's the artistic director for Bossov Ballet at MCI, and Arjon and Olivia Durkee, both principal dancers in the upcoming version of Nutcracker. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that right now. First of all, when is it? When can people access the show?
Actually, it's coming up pretty soon. We're going to have 4 shows in all together. Mm-hmm. And the first show will be on Friday, December 16th, and it starts at 7 p.m. And we're going to have 2 shows on Saturday, December 17th. One of them is at 2 p.m. and the second one is 7 p.m. And as well as Sunday, December 18th at 2 p.m.
How do you guys do that? I mean, that's 4 shows in one weekend.
It can be exhausting, but
you sleep a lot after that, right?
Yeah.
But that's where the training comes in, I assume.
Exactly.
Okay.
We have rehearsals where we run things twice in a row, and it builds the strength.
Okay, you build that strength. So coming back to it, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Natalya.
Oh, not a problem. Actually, just to add to that, because of their training and because of the love what they're doing, and as Arjon mentioned in the earlier segment, so he was saying what it makes him to feel when he comes on stage and what kind of a reward he's getting. So I have to be honest with you, every time when it's a Sunday show, it's the last show, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm exhausted myself. But they want to do it again. They wish I could truly see in their eyes that they wish it did not end it. Right. So
I think that's the hard thing for people to understand in theater. I remember from years ago and all the acting that I did back then, I was always nervous and almost anxious about the performance. But invariably, by the time we got to the last performance on the run, I was depressed. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to end. And so you have that same feeling.
Definitely.
Now, we're going to do these 4 shows. We should mention it's all at the Waterville Opera House.
That's correct.
And you can go to the website, operahouse.org. See, I remember that.
Very good.
And call 873-7000 for your tickets. And tickets, you have regular pricing of $20.18.
Yes.
And a special family pack.
Yeah, so you could have a special family pack option is 2 adults and 2 students, and it's $65 for a pack. So
great.
I think it's a great deal, yes. I think this is the perfect time, not just of the year, but it's a perfect time. Like, for example, we just had a little bit of snow yesterday.
Exactly.
So, but normally in Maine, we should be covered by snow. Myself and my husband will have to ride snowmobiles, but that's not happening in the near future.
You got to go north.
I guess so.
Up in the Aroostook County, I understand there's 40 inches already.
Yeah, but I think this is the wonderful opportunity to bring the Christmas spirit up in your family and make your memories with your family, because I'm sure if the one little girl, a little boy, going to see the performance for the first time, they will remember it forever.
And who knows, they may end up getting inspired and want to dance as
Very
well.
possible, very possible.
Well, what makes going with that, and I want to get your input on this as dancers. Nutcracker is a pretty common story, and people know Tchaikovsky, and the music is pretty familiar with people. We've been hearing it as part of the show. What makes it special? What makes this version unique? Why should anybody come to the Waterville Opera House and see you perform?
Well,
not to put you on the spot.
Yeah. No, it's fine. I think this production especially it has a quality that can be difficult to find in other places. The quality of our instruction and of our technique leads to, even though we have a cast that's very young, and even the younger students in our school, 4 and up, it still ends up being a production that's of a good professional quality, with really excellent costumes and set design, and music is, it's Tchaikovsky, so it's always great.
Right,
but,
right.
I think that's the main reason. And it's just a great production for families. It's very child friendly.
Great.
That quality is very important.
Olivia, you've got something I can tell you have on your mind there.
Yeah, I just think that our performance has a different quality than some that you might go to see. We're trained professionals, so our quality is very good. We spend time on our acting as well as the dancing, so I know I have to work on that a lot, and that's something that we're taught, so it's a good part of our performance, and I think it makes it more authentic. We just really get into our characters.
Sure.
I think it's just good quality.
Sure. Great. And you have this love relationship in the show.
Yes.
And I suspect beyond the character where you actually fall in love, but are you good friends on campus?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, good. You hang out and do things together?
Yeah, of course.
What do you do for normal? I mean, are you
When they have time.
Yeah, when we have time.
Yeah, what do you do when you're just killing time? What do you do? You
That's
play.
a difficult question.
They were trying to think, which time are we talking about?
Yeah, you play jazz piano.
I play jazz piano, read, listen to music. Sometimes I tend to go for a lot of hikes and walks and things like that. My family's very outdoors loving.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. How about you, Olivia? What do you like to do?
Well, my family also does things outdoors, but sometimes on the weekends I'll stay in the dorms or do something like that because I do have a lot of friends in the dorms who are also in the ballet program. I mean, I don't have much time to do things outside of school and ballet.
Well, but you don't want to either. You're really passionate about what
I like
you do.
being busy.
And that comes through. Natalia, anything else you'd like to emphasize?
Yeah, I was just going to maybe add a little bit to that, what makes our Nutcracker special. Probably to start with, I am not just an artistic director, but I'm also a choreographer for this production.
I should have said that.
Yes, and that's okay. And but I think what makes it different, and I don't want to say ours better than anybody else's, but I just wanted to emphasize that it is different, and I wanted people to go and maybe try, like we go and try different foods at the restaurant and maybe order different meals. So I think it's a good way to kind of put it together to perspective. Maybe go and see other Nutcrackers, even though you already have a tickets for somebody else's performance. So I think the people who will come to see our production will notice big difference between the other productions. And what makes it different, because my background, as you can tell by my accent as well, by my name.
You have an accent? I thought you were from,
Do you have a hearing problem? But what I was trying to say, so I did try to incorporate the Russian traditions into the choreography, as well as make it very kids-friendly, but I also want to make sure that it's adult-friendly. So there is a little humor in the ballet as well. And for example, our party parents being danced by the real adults. And I think it makes a big difference because it makes it more authentic when you come to see the party scene. So we have a young kids and we have an adults, and some of them could be up to their 70 years old, 50 years old, and 25 years old. So, and I think that varieties makes it, like I said, more authentic. And we do have a wonderful Mother Ginger, and that's something we don't do in Russia. But when I watched different productions in this country, I felt that it's almost like Nutcracker has to have a mustache. It's the same thing. So the Nutcracker doll I'm talking about. So Nutcracker performance has to have a Mother Ginger in this country. So, and we have a wonderful, wonderful costume for that, which is, I'm very proud of to say that we created it. And again, it's been created by us. So it's belonged to us. It's authenticized by us. And the choreography in that specific piece is also very motivating. And as I remember, last year it was produced for the first time. And I felt during that specific dance, I felt like I was at the concert rather than ballet, because people at the audience just wanted to jump up on their feet and probably dance. So that's how inspiring it was. So I do want to, again, encourage people to try our performance. And we're going to have a real snow coming down. And so there is a lot of special effects on the production, right? So
we're not doing this outdoors.
No, but I think it will bring them definitely to this beautiful land. And I think, as Olivia mentioned, that we do pay quite a bit of attention, not just in the ballet technique, that's giving. We cannot do any production without good ballet technique. However, the acting is very important. And I think our goal is to definitely touch people's hearts and maybe make them feel not necessarily, I saw the story, I understood the story. I want them to come out more inspired, maybe about their own family, about themselves.
Good.
That's the goal of our dancers, to produce those kind of feelings for the audience.
Good. Yeah. Well, I think it's not only the season, and it's time to think of shows like Nutcracker, and by all means, hopefully people will get out to enjoy your particular version of Nutcracker and the uniqueness you bring. But I think it's a good thing to know about your program. And hopefully this will also inspire others to want to come to your program and become part of Bossov Ballet. I want to thank you all for coming in to the show today.
Thank you.
And thank you.
We'll look forward to seeing you in the show.
Wonderful.
Again, December 16th, 17th, and 18th at the Waterville Opera House. And for tickets, you can go to operahouse.org or call 873-7000. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show for this week. I want to honor our guests, Natalya Getman, Arjon Orr, and Olivia Durkee, who will bring you their version of the Nutcracker starting this weekend. I would also like to say a special thanks to Gatsby for technical assistance in producing this show here on 107.9 The Mix. My partner Gary Pullen and I hope you reach out to us on Facebook and visit our website at seewhatson.com. Remember, that's the letter C, whatson.com. And share that with your friends. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday for more features about the arts in Central Maine. That's it for me. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And remember, if it's on, see what's on.